Summer is a time for family getaways and reunions, and those gatherings are not always peaceful. But our guest that I spoke with this week says they can be. Pastor Jesse Bradley from Grace Church in Washington has 4 steps to a harmonious get-together. Jesse, good morning.
Good morning, Asiel. Great to see you.
Start off with this. What are some things that can lead to stress when family travels together or meets up with other relatives?
You know, Asiel, we want to move from stressful to enjoyable. And during the summer, you get extra time to travel, plan a family vacation or a fun tradition. Our family goes to northern Minnesota for the last 35 years because everyone likes that place. There's turtle races. So we bring our 4 kids. Sometimes it gets a little spicy, but overall, we keep laughing and we keep coming back to enjoy each other. That time together is truly a gift.
You said it gets a little spicy. Can you be a little more specific in what ways that things can get tense when you have everybody together?
Well, traveling alone, we go to Chicago, then we drive to Iowa, then we go to Minnesota, northern Minnesota, and those long car rides. Sometimes phrases help, like your travel muscles or strong enough to wait, playful stuff.
So you offer 4 practical steps to keep the tension at bay. The first one is perspective. What do you mean by that?
Perspective is realizing that every child in your family is a gift. And every day in life's a gift. Also, when things get challenging, and they do, remember this is an opportunity to grow. You might cultivate some habits like listening closely to other people to understand them, or serving and seeing how you can lighten the load on someone who's stressed. Or it could be forgiving and deciding not to carry resentment and bitterness. Get rid of that before the sun goes down. Don't let it carry over to the next day. So these are practical pieces. It gives you the right perspective.
A second tip that you have for a good family gathering is patience. What do you mean by that?
Well, family kind of knows how to press your buttons, and they bring up topics that are difficult. They could even be politics. So learn how to redirect conversations, also de-escalate. When tempers start to flare, remember a gentle answer turns away wrath. So a smile, changing your tone, your nonverbal language, all of this, it contributes to the culture in your family.
Now, the third tip you offer is purpose. What do you mean by that?
When you think about purpose, you are the only one, if you're married, who can be the spouse. Or if you're a parent or a grandparent, that is a privilege. It really is. Every day, don't take that for granted. When I think about my job, there's a lot of people who could take my place. But when I go home, I don't want to just bring leftovers home. Family is not second rate, and we need a lot of healing in families. We need to remember that this is part of our purpose, strengthening our family, strengthening our relationships, being intentional. And it could be long distance, text, Zoom, but purpose includes waking up every day with the passion to love those who know you the best and you spend the most time with.
It kind of sounds like you're talking about the order that family goes in the whole hierarchy of things: God, wife or spouse, children, then your job. It sounds like that's what
right.
You're hitting
Life's
on.
about relationships.
All right. Well, the 4th tip is peace. Talk about that.
Shalom in your home is what I like to say when you think about peace. And how do we step into that peace? You just mentioned faith. One of the pieces for our family is every night we pray and read scripture. That's one way that we see that we grow, and it's a spiritual relationship. It's intellectual. It's emotional. There's a fullness to our relationship. And that word shalom, it's a fullness, holistic peace. And I'll tell you, when we think about our country and the division right now, some of the violence, we want to be people of peace. We want to be peacemakers. And it really starts at home. There's a lot of things we can't control, but the relationships at home, we can make the choices. We can just choose hope and make a difference, starting where we live and then where we work and where we play, where we go to school. It'll flow from what happens at home.
Now, talk about how you might have incorporated these tips into your family trip to Minnesota that you were telling me about.
Well, it's easier to have this interview, Asiel, than it is to really live it. And that's true for all of us. You know, there's what's ideal and then there's what's real. And whether it's a family trip, our home is kind of like a hub in a neighborhood, and people come over all the time. Sometimes things are broken. We all face disappointment. But when we walk in love, when we walk in light, we can cultivate these habits of hope. In our family, we go through hard stuff. There's addictions, alcoholism, divorce, suicide. We've gone through a lot as a family. So I'm not saying that this is just an easy road with family, but it's the best road. And let's make these choices together, because that love you have for one another, I say that love from God, love is what's going to make the difference.
All right, let's hope we can do it. Thank you so much, Jesse. Appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thank you so much, Hasiel.